Okay, so this was brought up, and I wanted to ask AI, what is the 1,000-yard stare? And the 1,000-yard stare is probably very similar to Stockholm Syndrome. It's that blank, unfocused gaze of people experiencing disassociation due to acute stress or traumatic events. And so that's what happens to people. So this is men going to war, the disassociation. And so we can take that back to women who are in marriages and circumstances and relationships where you kind of have to disassociate because of what's going on, because there's no way out. So it's kind of like a Stockholm Syndrome part two. So maybe, for example, in comparison to being in the United States and not at war, the war situation might be worse for the soldiers, maybe, instead of the wife who on the homeland who is with a man who is doing things to her just because he doesn't want to be married, or just because he can, because he wants to control that female. I've made these analogies that Christianity is no different from Sharia law when it comes down to people being harmed and controlled. That the Bible, the scriptures, is Sharia law. Because people have asked me, they've said, well, how does Christianity harm people? And I'm like, well, look at in the Bible, the history involves death and destruction and God not caring about his people. Even though the New Testament says that God is supposed to care about his people. But, I guess the thing I think about is the Bible was written. The Bible is not sustainable as a pathway of life, as an ideology. And it doesn't work for people. But yet, there's still, it's still in the United States, but it seems to come out of old-fashioned ways that just do not work. And it creates a false hope of something. It's like when some talk about Muslim and the 40 virgins and gold. It's like the Bible's the same thing, creating an invisible figure that's like Santa Claus that doesn't exist, and we're supposed to believe in that. Creates a lie.